depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we've got some news that we need to be talking about. We've got some things that we need to be having a good old chat about. And it includes news that, essentially, Walking Wake and Iron Leaves are confirmed to be coming into Pokémon TCG in our next set. When I say essentially confirmed, I don't mean they've upped and told us they're in the next set. What I mean is they have told us enough to make us absolutely convinced that they are in the next set. Sound like a plan? Excellent. So what's actually gone and been revealed here is the Pokemon card game Deck Sleeve Collection Ancient/Future. It's actually a brand new type of product which we've not seen before. And basically what you do is you buy this and you get one set of sleeves of 10 different types. Now, this is kind of interesting. It's kind of like a blind bag for sleeves. I did this for t-shirts in Japan and ended up with this one, which I'm hoping we can all agree is absolutely spectacular. Well, here we've got that, but for sleeves. Why is that important? Because now we're not actually given a list of what's coming, right? But there is a sell sheet which has been seen, and that gives us images of 4 Pokemon, 2 of whom are Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. And also, probably worth telling you at this point, that these are releasing on the 26th of January 2024. And if that date sounds familiar, it should. First of all, it is actually the date where we're first getting Paldean Fates. That is when, now there's not a lot coming out on the 26th, remember, but the Elite Trainer boxes and the Tech Sticker collections are coming out on the 26th of January, which is pretty awesome. But it's also the date of the next Japanese set. Now, as a side note, the next Japanese set is Wild Judge and Cyberforce. We've talked about this a few times, and it's not been officially announced yet, but we saw trademarks ages ago. We've seen listings on various Japanese websites. It's definitely coming. It's definitely the next set. It's definitely a double set, and it's definitely coming on January the 26th. If you want to know when the set is actually going to be revealed, I'm pretty sure, I'm in fact very sure, that the reveal of that set is going to be on the 23rd of December. And the reason is extremely simple. There is a Champions League happening in Kyoto that weekend, 23rd, 24th. They love doing set reveals on Champions Leagues. They've done it many times in the past. They always have news drops on both days of the Champions League. So, this is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I cannot actually say for 100% certain that it is going to happen, but it's also one of those things where I would be absolutely stunned if it didn't happen. I am absolutely making plans that day for the set reveal, and of course I'm going to bring it to you guys with everything you need to know, because that's the kind of thing that I do. But that's when it's coming down. So, if we've got these sleeves coming out on the same day as the next set, and the next set, Cyberforce and Wild Judge, is blatantly a Paradox Pokemon set, look at the name, it's blatantly a Paradox Pokemon set, and the sleeves are featuring Walking, Wake, and Iron Leaves, I don't think it's much of a stretch to smash all that together and go, oh, yeah, Walking, Wake, and Iron Leaves are coming in the next set. Now, this is a prediction that I've made on a number of occasions. And again, it wasn't exactly a particularly big prediction, some kind of massive fancy prediction that nobody else could have made. I'm sure a bunch of other people made the prediction as well. Because, of course, we've just had Paradox Rift. And Paradox Rift gave us essentially most of the first wave of Paradox Pokemon. And that did include your big guys from the games. That's your Roaring Moon and your Iron Valiant. They were like the big ones in the game, the hardest ones to find, the real show ones, the highlight ones, so to speak. So what was essentially left was the 2 they missed out, and then these 2 new ones. And it really is as simple as that. That's why I made the prediction, and I felt very, very good about the prediction. And everything we've got here, and this really is quite conclusive, is telling us that it is actually happening. Now, I know for some people it might not seem that conclusive. Hang on a second, Wassy. So there's sleeves coming on the same day as a set, and they've got these Pokemon on, so that means the Pokemon are in the set. The answer is yes. We've seen this over and over and over again in Japan. They always drop accessories on the day of a set release, and they always feature Pokemon from the set in question. So yeah, that's where we are, and I feel exceedingly good about this. I feel very, very good about this. Now, I did tell you there were a couple of other Pokemon that were missing from Paradox Rift to the equivalent Japanese sets, and they are Fluttermane and Iron Thorns. And we haven't had them yet. And presumably at some point in the not too distant future we will. By of course, I mean they are definitely coming in this set as well. And once again, I suppose we probably have to say that there's a very small chance that they're actually not coming, but come on. They were the only two, one ancient, one future, they are the only two that were in Scarlet and Violet that didn't then come along in Paradox Rift. Now, maybe there's no others coming, but come on. I feel very, very confident about this. Now, that does leave a couple of others. What about Raging Bolt? And what about Iron Crown? Who are, of course, the other ones that are, well, just came around in the DLC. No spoilers here, incidentally, because, well, we've known about these for a long time. Don't count on it. And the answer essentially is, it's too early. Now, I could absolutely be wrong. They could absolutely be in the set. But to me, this just seems way, way too early. I just don't expect this is probably going to happen. Would love to be wrong about this because they're kind of cool Pokemon. I'd love to see them making an appearance. But this is one of those ones where I would be absolutely stunned if they did come around because it just seems a little bit too much like, well, they've only just come out. We don't get things this quickly, is probably the best way to put it. We don't get things coming around this quickly. So I could absolutely be wrong, but don't expect those two to be coming along. I think if you expect that, you will end up being disappointed. Now, we were shown a couple of other Pokemon that are going to be on the sleeves as well that are absolutely worth mentioning, and that is Screamtail and Iron Bundle. And these are, of course, not new. We had these in Paradox Rift, and actually, the ones we had in Paradox Rift were pretty good. The Iron Bundle lets you move your opponent's active Pokemon out the active. Now, admittedly, this one isn't seeing a huge amount of play at the moment, which honestly makes me a little bit sad. I think this is a really fun card, but as it stands at the moment, it's just not happening. If it's on your bench, you can switch your opponent's active, they get to choose what comes in, and then discard this Pokemon and all attached cards. But it's really Screamtail, which has been the absolute star. For 2 energy, it does 20 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And then obviously what you do is combine it with your Gardevoir EX, which allows you to accelerate energy from the discard, but every time you do, you have to take 2 damage counters. So of course, you can just pile damage counters on by accelerating energy with Gardevoir. Hit anywhere on the field, it doesn't have to be the active, which is awesome. And then of course, when it gets KO'd, yeah, sure, you've probably put too much energy on, but it doesn't matter, because when it gets KO'd, all that energy goes to the discard, and then Gardevoir can just accelerate it elsewhere. It's proven to be an absolute star. But also, Screamtail is Ancient Jigglypuff, and Iron Bundle is Future Delibird. They are Pokemon that seemed especially Jigglypuff. Get a few more prints than some other Pokemon. So I'd imagine that they will be getting a bit more love than some of the other Paradox Pokemon. I mean, they were the Elite Trainer Box promos, for instance. So I do think these two are essentially being held out as special. So look, maybe you're not excited about the sleeves. If you're not excited about the sleeves, that is absolutely fine and fair. I'm sure not everyone is excited about the sleeves, and that's okay. But I do think it is extremely relevant and extremely important that we acknowledge that actually this means what's coming. This tells us what we're going to be getting in the next set. And like I say, we really are at the stage where we know. This isn't some random prediction that we can't rely on. This is something that we can be absolutely certain about because this is how Japan works. We're going to be getting a new Screamtail, we're going to be getting a new Iron Bundle, but far more excitingly, we are going to see the debut of Walking Wake and Iron Leaves. As a side note, expect them to get EXs, although I can't guarantee. Screamtail and Iron Bundle, I don't know, maybe, maybe not. But like I've said, the new ones from the DLC, don't expect them. Don't think they're going to be coming, and if they do turn up, see it as a pleasant surprise. But I think it's fair to say, for the moment, we do have to kind of leave them out for now. Sorry about that. Never mind. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know all of your opinions. I want to know your hopes. Oh, and by the way, this is going to be our February set, our Scarlet and Violet 5. So hang tight. The reveal for that probably isn't too far away either. But tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.